Alright, so in this video we're going to be reviewing the four main operations on data within the SQL database. Those four main operations are create, read, update, and delete. You're able to follow along with this as well. I have another video where we walk through installing SQL Express as well as SSMS, all completely free onto your computer. So I'll have the link below for that as well. So in this example, I have a sales demo database, and it's a small sample database with a few tables. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this customers table here for this example. So within this customers table, there's four different fields: the customer ID, the first name, middle initial, and then the last name. So we're going to kind of walk through these four different operations all within this table. So for select, what we have to do there is what we're doing is pretty much we're telling the database what data we want to return. So for this example, we're just going to pull in the top 5 records from that customer table. So I'm going to plug in select all from, and then after your from statement, you'll put your database name, dot your schema, then your table name. So this would pull in everything. I just want the top 5, so I'm going to throw that in here. Alright, so as you can see here, we have our 5 rows of data. And with these 5 rows of data, we'll now move along onto this update statement. And what we'll do is, so updating, what this is going to do is it's going to actually change the values that are already currently existing. So within any row of data within a table, the update is going to actually just be changing the actual values within those columns. So the syntax for this would just be update, and then your table name, set keyword, and then you're going to plug in each column that you want to update. So for this example, we'll say middle initial equals A, and then you put your where condition, so you're filtering down which actual row you want to update. So I'm going to plug in where, and actually instead of the top 5, I'm just going to do just for customer ID 1. So customer ID equals 1. And what I would also suggest doing prior to actually updating data would be just to, if you have multiple conditions, to actually create a query where you select those records. So for this example, you could pull this over here, add it to our select statement. That way you know what record you're actually updating. So it's just a trick if you're not too comfortable with running these update statements on your database. Alright, so anyways, so we have this where we're just plugging in A. So let's run this. 1 row affected, and then if we rerun this record, now we can actually see middle initial of A. So I'm going to pull in the top 5 again. Moving along to the delete statement. So deleting is actually going to be removing rows of data within the table. You could also obviously delete tables, but for this example, we're gonna focus on deleting rows within one table. So for this example, let's remove row number 2 from this table, our customer ID number 2. So to do that, we will type in delete from, and you'll put your table name. And then you need your where condition here. So this is very important. If you don't have this where statement, then it's going to remove all rows from your table. So we're going to say where customer ID equals 2. I'll execute that. Now if I come back up to this select statement, And actually, I'll just leave this. Oops. Just rerun this. So now, as you can see, customer ID record number 2 doesn't exist anymore. So moving along, let's go back to the insert. So once again, we could go through and write our query from scratch, but another thing I want to show you here is a useful tool built into Management Studio. So if you navigate to that table within the database, so for example here, we are trying to insert a record into the customers table. What we can do is we can navigate into this database, the sales demo, go into our tables, and find our customers table that we want to insert to. So from here, what we can do is right click on this table, and we can do this script table as. So I'm showing you this example for insert into, and what this is going to do is it's going to create a template, the template code for you, and you can just pretty much paste it in and just plug in your values. So you could do this also for updating, deleting, or selecting. And then in this example, like I said, we'll just do it for this insert. So if you select new query editor window, it will just add a new tab with that code. For this, I'm just going to paste it to my clipboard, and then I'll paste it right below here. So as you can see, it's saying use sales demo database, go, insert into our customers table, and then it has our fields here, first name, middle initial, and last name. And then as you can see below that, we have our values with where we would actually plug in the values we want for those columns. So once we have this here, we already have our server selected, or our database selected up top, so I'm just going to get rid of this go statement below, and what we're going to do is we're going to change these values out. So as you can see here, we have open parentheses, close parentheses with our 3 columns here. As you can see here, you're probably wondering why this customer ID is not in here. This is a primary key that's generated from the system, so we're not going to need to mess with that. With this insert statement, what it's doing below in the value section is it's telling us the field name followed by the data type. So as you can see here, this is nvarchar first name column with 40 character max. So I'm just going to remove this, and we'll plug in just 2 apostrophes, and then we'll do first name, we'll say Sean, middle initial, we'll say X, and then right here, just another 2 apostrophes, Smith. Alright, so as you can see now, if we run this, 1 row inserted, and I can come up here, so now I'm going to add another condition to the select statement and say order by customer ID descending, so that way it shows us what's at the bottom of the table. And as you can see here, here's our record, Sean Smith. So that's a quick walkthrough on the basics of select, update, delete, and insert within SQL.